Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Annalisa and today I am reviewing this book. Now, I had this book as part of a haul a month or two ago, and a couple of people commented that this cover looked really interesting, so I decided that it would go to the top of my TBR. It is A Turn of Light by Julie E. Cerneda. Who is this lovely lady? Now, I started reading this a couple of weeks before I went on vacation to the beach, and I had a really hard time getting into it. I was thinking that it was going to be a little bit Tolkien-esque in that from the descriptions and everything, and from the things that were starting to be set up, it sounded like it was going to be a pretty epic tale and really interesting in the long term, but also, like Tolkien, very slow to get there, very slow to start, uses way too many words to describe a thing. Slash uses the right amount of words once, except then he keeps describing things that are boring. You know the section of Beauty and the Beast, the Disney versions, where there's a song that talks about this provincial life and how provincial Belle's life is and how the whole village is that way? Basically, the first 65 pages of this book are talking about how provincial this poor girl's life is and how she doesn't want it to be. You can describe a provincial life as that song did in about a paragraph. Maybe 3 if you're going to wax romantic about it. This was a lot. I think I will enjoy rereading those first 65 pages now that I know the characters and I know the plot and the things that are gonna happen. I think I'll find them interesting, but the first time around it was horrendously boring. But things really picked up at page 75, and I reached page 75 shortly after going on vacation and getting to the beach. It took me a couple of weeks to reach page 35, which is when I went on vacation. Kept trying to get into it at the beach, reached page 75, and then boom, read 800 pages within that week. Now, I can read faster than that. I can read 800 pages in probably 2 or 3 days, but it was much more comfortable and kept me much less grumpy to do it over a week. I'm very unhappy. I'm just an unhappy pumpkin when I read, for example, a Court of series. I would read each of those in about 3 days, and I was not a happy camper. I was desperate for more and to know what was going to happen, but I was very grumpy whenever I had to come out of that world and do like real world things like eat dinner or put the dishes away or help clean my house. So this was much preferable. And since I was on vacation, I had the kind of time to be able to read as much as I really wanted without getting behind on projects and stuff, because I was supposed to be resting anyway. First of all, I want to introduce you to the maps in this book, because they're amazing. The small issue I have, though, is there's some more. That first map that was like a world map of a bunch of different places, we never go to any of those places, which is what I was expecting when I started the book, so I was like my expectations were weirded out by that. Like, I love the book, but it's just not what I expected. I expected it to be an epic tale of like traveling to all these countries and saving them from stuff, but no, we stay in this area for the entire book. I thought I was getting epic fantasy adventure. What I was getting was a character rather than plot driven, which I like, very character driven romance, which is not what I was expecting. I really, really liked it, but it was not what I was expecting from the cover and the maps. And it is a fantasy romance, quite a good one, with quite a lot of magic involved. But it's a romance, not an adventure story. Be aware of that. And it's not just a romance. The actual main plot, I would say, would be the self-discovery of the main character, who is this lady. But the biggest subplot is her relationship with this guy and with another guy who is called Wisp, and we meet him pretty much right away. We meet this guy a little further in, and he is another perspective character. Occasionally I think you get other perspectives, but there are 3 main perspective characters, and it's her, him, and Wisp. The prose was quite enjoyable. Post the first 75 pages, it picked up in pacing a lot, and the way things were described and the way the dialogue flowed and stuff like that was very well done. I really liked that. The next thing I liked was the characters. The vast majority of them were likable, which is really nice. Like, I know it's artistic and stuff to have unlikable characters, especially main characters, but like, I don't read for the art. I read because I want friends. And I don't have many real ones. And I want to be friends with these characters, and I want to live vicariously, not just through my feeling like I'm friends with them because I know them through the book, but I want to live vicariously through their relationships with each other. So when there are good friendships and kindness and familiar relationships in books, I really like that, and this had a lot of that going on. The main character has a sister and a father who she's close with, and an aunt who she's close with, and a lot of people in the village are just really sweet, wonderful people. And there are also really sweet animal-ish relationships and really cool magical creatures. For example, this black horse on the front, not a regular horse. Also Wisp, the 3rd perspective character, is a very interesting creature. Also, there's a bunch of interesting creatures like the toads are magical, and there's just magical creatures all over in this area. One of the other things I really liked is that it is a love triangle, sort of, a little bit. It's a little bit of that, but the kind of love triangles that I really hate are where the 2 guys, usually it's 2 guys, hate each other and are really antagonistic, but these 2 guys are like really nice to each other. So I really appreciate that, and it's just, it makes it not annoying. It's just so not annoying when the guys aren't annoying about it. It's amazing. What a concept. We can be mature about these things. As for age group, the main character is 19. She's turning 19 at the end of the summer. So new adult probably would be the best age category for this. Sorry if things changed just there. I just had to recharge my camera for 5 minutes. There's this thing in middle grade where like people are nice and just don't have a lot of angst, you know, teen angst. And then when you go past YA and NA, you get into adults, and then you're usually back into a lack of angst. So that's why I mostly read adult and MG. Despite the main character being NA, between the ages of NA and YA, there's a distinct lack of angst in this book, which I enjoyed once again. Early on, right after our first scene involving him, we find out that the main character has seen little parts of Wisp. He's mostly invisible most of the time, but she's seen little glimpses of him, and one of the glimpses is that he has a claw and I believe a scaly tail. Naturally, what I start picturing is a Vrawl. This is a picture of a Vrawl. It's from this series over here, Del Toro series. For some reason, that's just what I pictured. Like a nicer Vrawl, a less scary looking Vrawl, but like a man lizard. But no, that's not what Wisp was. And probably most of you would be able to figure out what kind of magical creature Wisp was by just those glimpses, but no, I had to think more creatively than that and go with Vrawl. That is my review of A Turn of Light by Julie E. Sarneda. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!